fade in, a slow, haunting melody from a ney flute, the quiet murmur of prayer, then the steady rhythm of boots on stone and the faint metallic rattle of armor and muskets. They were not born to the sword, but shaped by it, taken as boys, raised as soldiers, and bound by loyalty to none but the Sultan. For centuries they formed the backbone of the Ottoman Empire's military might. They were the Janissaries, the Sultan's elite infantry and the soul of Ottoman conquest. Fade to Anatolia, late 14th century. The Ottoman state is rising. Born in the age of expansion, the Janissary Corps was established under Sultan Murad I in the late 14th century. As the Ottomans pushed into the Balkans, they needed warriors who were more than tribal levies. Men forged in discipline, not bloodline, and so came the Devsirme. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe to MGOT Vistry for more elite military units. Under the Devsirme system, Christian boys from conquered lands, mainly in the Balkans, were taken from their families, converted to Islam, and raised within the Ottoman state. For many it was a tragedy, for others it was a path to power. For all it was transformation. Scene transitions to the Janissary barracks, chanting, drill instructors barking orders. In the barracks of Edirne and Istanbul, these boys were trained in the arts of war and obedience. They learned Turkish, studied the Quran, and practiced tirelessly with sword, bow, and eventually muskets. Discipline was absolute, brotherhood unbreakable, marching drums, Janissaries in white robes and distinctive headdresses. The Janissaries were the first standing army in Europe since Rome, professional, salaried, and permanent. Unlike feudal levies, they belonged to the state, more precisely to the Sultan. They were his shield, and sometimes his sword. Cut to the siege of Constantinople, 1453, cannon fire, walls crumbling. At the siege of Constantinople, it was the Janissaries who led the final assault. Through gunpowder smoke and shattered walls, they stormed the Byzantine capital, breaking 1,000 years of resistance. Their muskets thundered as ancient empires fell before them. Montage of Ottoman victories, Kosovo, Varna, Mohacs. From the Balkans to the gates of Vienna, Janissaries marched at the heart of Ottoman conquests. Their discipline in the field and unity in battle made them feared across Christendom. Their battle cry alone, echoing through European valleys, sent shudders through armies and kings. Fade to court intrigue, gold coins, whispers in the palace, but as centuries passed, their purpose began to shift. The Janissaries gained privileges, land, pensions, political influence. They married, opened businesses, and raised families. The corps, once filled by Devsirme, now became hereditary. Corruption crept in, scene darkens, Janissaries rioting, fires in the streets of Istanbul. They grew bold, rebellious. No longer just protectors, they became kingmakers and kingbreakers. They deposed sultans, resisted reform, and strangled change. What began as the elite force of a rising empire had become a barrier to its survival. Transition to the early 19th century. Reformist Sultan Mahmud II enters. In 1826, Sultan Mahmud II had enough. In a bold and bloody move known as the Auspicious Incident, he surrounded the Janissary barracks with artillery and opened fire. Thousands died. The Janissary Corps, after nearly 450 years, was annihilated. Fade to silence, the empty courtyard of an Ottoman barracks. Their end was as dramatic as their rise, but their impact endures. The Janissaries changed warfare, shaped an empire, and left a legacy both glorious and grim. They were slaves who became soldiers, soldiers who became power, power that ultimately consumed itself. Final image, a Janissary helmet in a museum gleaming under torchlight, born of conquest, broken by ambition. The Janissaries marched at the heart of empire and into the pages of history. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe to MGOT Vistry for more elite military units.